Hello everyone, myself Dr. Anindra Sundar Das. I am working as an assistant professor in Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering in Swami Vivekananda Institute of Science and Technology, Dakshin Govindapur, Kolkata. This is my lecture number 14 and the topic is root locus, and this is the first part. In this lecture, I will discuss about the basic concept of root locus and angle and magnitude condition of root locus, okay, of the subject, control system and instrumentation. Now we have already studied about what is the use of controller in last lecture. Okay, those are basically proportional, integral, different derivative controller. Then we can combine those to form k pi pd pid controller. Okay, so using that we can control the control system, okay, so that we can get desirable output. There we can have the variable gain parameter, variable kp ki kd. Okay, now as a designer we have to know the system is absolutely stable and we have to know the degree of stability. Degree of stability means for which value of k or the controller parameter your system will be stable, unstable and marginally stable. Okay, so if in S plane, if we can find how the poles are moving, okay, and if we can plot that, then we can find out if the poles are located on right left half plane, system stable, right half plane, system unstable. If that located on imaginary axis, that will be unstable. Okay, so we have to know as a designer that whether the system is absolutely stable or the degree of stability. Okay? To predict system performance by an analysis that does not require the actual solution of the differential equation, if we know the transfer function of a linear system, we can find out the system performance. That means if we have pole on this real axis, then system is response should be over damped. Okay, if we have poles on this repeated pole on imaginary real axis, it will be the response should will be critically damped, and poles on complex plane, okay, then it will be under damped. If poles on imaginary axis, then it will be oscillatory. If poles on right half plane, okay, output response will be unbounded. Okay, system will be unstable. So these are the points that we can, that already we know from the system response, from the controller, from the stability point of view. We know all these points already. Okay, now the analysis of a system is basically indicate the manner or method by which this system must be adjusted or compensated to produce the desired performance characteristics. How we can adjust that? Using the controller variable k, or we can have say kp ki kd. Okay, using those we can find out, we can vary those parameter and we can find out where is the position of the pole. Okay, where is the position of the pole, that we can find out. Now in that we have two methods are there, that is in order to analyze the system. One is called root locus approach, another one frequency response approach. Okay, now in root locus approach or the root locus technique in control system was first introduced in the year 1948 by Walter R. Evans. Okay. Now, any physical system can be written by a transfer function, like where Gs transfer function equal to k into numerator of s divided by denominator of s. This k is the controller gain. Okay, then we can find out the poles and zero from numerator and denominator. From numerator we can find out zero, from denominator we can find out the pole. Okay, the location of pole and zero are crucial keeping the view of stability. Basically location of poles are very important for stability. Okay, relative stability, transient and output response and error analysis. Okay, that already we did in root locus technique. In control system, we will evaluate the position of the roots, their locus of movement, and associated information. Okay, this information will be used to comment upon system performance. I mean, what root locus provides? Root locus provides the locus of the root, okay, of a system. That means how roots are varying, okay, that we can find out, and then we can predict the system performance. So the advantage of root locus technique is root locus technique in control system is easy to implement as compared to other methods. With the help of root locus, we can easily predict the performance of the whole system. Okay, and root locus provides better way to indicate the parameters. Okay, these are the advantage. Now in root locus approach, the basic characteristics of transient response of a closed loop system is closely related to the location of closed loop pole. So closed loop pole where it is, then we can say we can find out the transient response of the system output. Okay, output response. That already told you. If roots are on real axis, it will be over damped or under damped. In complex plane, it will over damped and critically damped. If it is in complex plane, it will be under damped. If on this imaginary axis, oscillatory. If on in the right half plane, unbounded. System unstable. Okay, so this region stable, this marginally stable, and this region it will be unstable. If system has variable loop gain, that means loop gain you can vary, then the location of the closed loop pole depends on the value of the loop gain chosen. Okay, so if we vary k, your closed loop pole varies. Okay, then your system performance also varied. It is important to know how the closed loop poles move in the S-plane as loop gain varied. Okay, so from the design point of view, simple gain adjustment may move the closed loop poles to desired location, and the design problem then becomes the selection of an appropriate gain value of the controller. Okay. If gain adjustment alone does not yield a desired result, addition of a compensator to the system is necessary. Suppose we are having only proportional controller you are using, and if you vary this proportional controller, you are not getting the desired result, then you can include one term like the skd and see whether you are getting adding with that proper result or not. Then if not, then you can include another, okay, integral controller ki by s. Okay, then you can find out. So the closed loop poles are the roots of the closed loop system. Okay, which is known as the cat from you can get it from the characteristic equation. Now say we have a unity feedback control system, unity feedback, and this is the system where k is the proportional constant controller. Okay, so open loop transfer function is k by s plus 1. Closed loop transfer function is g by 1 plus gh h equal to 1. So this is the transfer function. Now if we vary k, we can observe your pole location will vary. So let us observe that. Okay. Now if we vary k, so s from that equation we can find out s equal to minus 1 plus k. Okay. Now if we take k equal to 0, okay, k equal to 0, your pole located at minus 1, k equal to minus point point 0.5, pole at minus point 0.5, k equal to 1, pole at minus 2. So if you keep on varying the k value, your location of pole also shifting. Okay, so if we vary here, when your pole is at k equal to 0, pole is at minus 1. Okay, so this is your minus 1. Okay, when the value of k equal to 0. Okay, as we increase the k value, okay, if we keep on increasing this k value, okay, k value is increases, then what happens, your pole also shifting towards the minus negative and minus infinity value. Okay, pole value is shifting, so that is called locus of a pole. Okay, if we vary k parameter, controller gain parameter, then your location of pole also varies. And by looking the plot of pole movement or the locus of the root of the characteristic equation, that is the pole, then we can find out its stability. Okay, whether it is absolutely stable, it is going to unstable region or not. okay, or when it becomes marginally stable, those points we can find out. So from this example, what we can say that all the poles are on real axis and it is going up to minus infinity if we vary k from 0 to infinity. Okay, k value if we vary from 0 to infinity, okay, pole start from -1, it will be going to minus infinity on real axis. That means your system is absolutely stable. It is not going into right half plane, okay, for any value of k. It is absolutely stable and your system response will be always on real axis. Poles are on always on real axis. Then what we can say, the system will be always over damped system, okay, or critically damped or over damped you can say, but it cannot be under damped, okay, but this is a first order system, so it cannot be under damped, okay? There is no point of that. So this is the location how the poles are moving with variation of k from 0 to infinity, okay, that is the root locus, okay. For example, let us take another example of that, okay. So here I have taken as say gs value equal to 1 by s2, okay, 1 by s plus 2, okay, c value taken as 1, h equal to 1. Then if you find out the closed loop transfer function, this will be k g divided by 1 plus gh, so k by this, so s equal to minus 2 plus k. Now if we put k greater than 0, okay, k is 0, it should be x minus 2. If k greater than 0, so 1 2 3 4, so it will be moving towards minus infinity, okay. If we vary k is 0 to infinity, your system is absolutely stable, there is no point, okay. Absolutely stable response should be over damped, okay. Now if we make the system becomes more stable if we keep on increasing k value. More stable why? Because if it is away, pole is away from imaginary axis, then the response will be faster. Okay. If a pole is close to imaginary axis, response will be slower. Okay, that is the point. Now, if we make k less than 0, negative, okay, so what we can see, if k is negative, so say when k is say minus 2, okay, it will be 0, minus 3, then it will be plus 1, okay, so it will be moving towards right half plane of the s plane, so system becomes less stable, okay. So we have to choose k carefully so that we can make your system more stable, okay. Now let us take another example, say a quadratic equation, second order system, okay. We have again k, this is the transfer function. From that we can find out its location of pole, okay. So what we can see, if we put k equal to 0, okay, then pole location is -1 -100. So when k equal to 0, your pole at minus, say this is should be -1, so this is your -1 and this is your -100, okay, not 0. 0 is say here, okay, -1 -100 when k equal to 0. Now if we start increasing k value, then what will happen? K becomes 2000, it will be -29 -71, so it comes around here, say, okay. Then if we increase to this, its value is almost -50 -50, so those pole comes at this particular point, okay. So what we can say, that when k value is from 0 to 2540 450, then what we can say, system response is from poles are real and distinct. Two poles are real and distinct, so response will be over damped, okay. And when we k value is say 2500, poles are -50 -50, so we have repeated pole on this particular point, then what we can say, system becomes critically damped, okay. Now if we increase k value, it becomes a complex value, okay, it becomes a complex value, so poles are now here, okay. So what will become, the system response becomes a under damped system, okay. So if we vary k, okay, from over damped it reaches to critically damped, then goes into under damped, and you can see it is going along this direction, it never enters into right half plane, so system can't be unstable, but for particular value of k, it should be Overdamped for a range of k, it should be overdamped for a particular value of k. Okay, particular value of k, it will be critically damped, and more than that, greater than that k, system will be underdamped. Okay, so that is the point that we can find out very easily if we can find the locus of the root or the pole if we vary k from 0 to infinity. So that is the root locus plot. Okay, now we can take another example of that. Say this is the GSHS system transfer function 1 plus GSHS equal to 0 characteristic equation. Okay, from that we can find out the pole. Okay, pole are basically minus 1 plus minus root of 1 minus k. Now if we put k equal to 0, what we can see, k equal to 0, so it will be 0 and it will be minus 2. K equal to 0, 0 minus 2. So we have a pole here 0 and minus 2 when k value equal to 0. Okay, so your response we can say almost like overdamped case. Okay, now if we increase k value, okay, these poles are moving, okay, along the real axis, and when k becomes 1, it becomes -1 -1. Okay, so we have two poles at -1 point, then the system response become critically damped. If we increase k further to infinity, it becomes complex pole, okay, greater than 1. That means what, when pole between 0 to 1, your system response poles are on real axis, distinct root. So what happens, the system response is overdamped. For k equal to 1, poles are same, okay, same value, -1 -1. So multiple pole on same point on real axis, so it will be critically damped. So the system response is critically damped. For this range it is over damped, okay, and for this range it is under damped. Okay, so by varying k, the controller parameter, we can find out for which range of value of k your system should be over damped, which range it should be under damped, and for what value of k it should be critically damped. So we can predict the system performance, and we can predict stability. If we find that your root locus, the plot locus of pole, goes into the right half plane, then we can say it will be, for that particular value of k, it will be unstable system, and for a particular value of k, it will be marginally stable. Okay, this is the way we can analyze the root locus. Okay, let us take one example. Here we have three pole. What you can see, that this pole comes here, okay, and we have this pole comes here. So between this and this range it will be over damped. When these two pole comes at this point, it becomes critically damped, and then it is going, and when this pole comes at this point, it will be marginally stable. When then after that it becomes unstable. Okay, so from this particular plot we can say that for which value of k, okay, system will response should be over damped, and then critically damped, then system become marginally stable, then unstable. Okay, so all those point we can find out if we can plot the locus of root. So this is one example. Now we can have, if we include one 0 in that plot, then we can see that your system becomes absolutely stable. Now this is not absolutely stable, it is relatively stable system. Okay, after these 2 point, what is the value of k? Okay, at these 2 point, if we increase k greater than that, then it become unstable. Okay, that is relatively stable system. Now this can be absolutely stable, it is not crossing the imaginary line. If we take 0 here, you can see this is the plot. Okay, so it is also absolutely stable, this is also absolutely stable system. Okay, so that we can find out from the root locus. Okay, now consider a negative feedback that has one parameter gain control parameter k, which is greater than 1, that we have to design to have k value. Okay, so root locus graphically shows how poles of the closed loop system varies as k varies from 0 to infinity. From characteristic equation 1 plus kgs equal to 0. Okay, if we take the closed loop transfer function. Then kgs divided by 1 plus kgs. 1 plus kgs is the characteristic equation. What we can write that k equal to minus 1 by gs or gs equal to minus 1 by k. That we can find out from this characteristic equation. Okay. Now, in constructing the root locus, we have to consider 2 points. One is called angle condition, another one is called magnitude condition. That means what? From where we can get this angle condition, angle and magnitude. That is the first point that you have to know. How we can find out angle and magnitude? From where we can get this? Now this is the system say. Okay, we have a gain h. So this is the transfer function, closed loop transfer function, g divided by 1 plus gshs. Okay, we can have this g means we can have this k value with that. Okay, that we may have. That means g can be represented by this way. So we have a G here and we have a GP here, we have a GC here. Okay, it is the controller gain, this is the plant gain that is connected in series. Okay, that we can say, okay, that we can assume. Okay, now characteristic equation will be 1 plus GS plus H is equal to 0. Okay, that is your characteristic equation from the denominator polynomial. Now GSH is equal to what we can write minus 1. Okay, now S is a complex number and it is basically sigma plus j of omega. This is a complex number. So minus 1, this one we can assume as a complex number. So we can write minus a1 plus j0. That means we can say a plus jb. So we have a real part and we have an imaginary part. Okay. So as GSH is the ratio of polynomial in S, where S is a complex quantity, so GSHS is a complex quantity. So a complex quantity can be split into angle and magnitude part. How? Let me show you that. Suppose this is your complex plane. We have this is the value A and this is the value say your JB. Okay. So this is the A coordinate. Okay. And this is the JB coordinate. Fine. So that is written in rectangular form. Okay. A plus JB. A plus JB, that is written in rectangular form. This is your A coordinate, okay, and this is JB. So this is the position of A plus JB. Now if we draw a line from origin, if we connect that point, then this is the angle, okay, and the distance from origin to that point is the magnitude. So we can find out the magnitude as magnitude is the hypotenuse, so it will be this is A and this is your B, okay, length. So m equal to root over of a square plus b square, fine, and angle theta from the real axis. What is the angle? That is called tan inverse b by a. B means imaginary part by real part. So this is how we can find out magnitude and angle of from any transfer function that we can find out. Okay, if we know the transfer function, from that we can find out its angle and magnitude. Okay, so the angle of now angle of GSH is equal to minus 1 is, so we got this how we can find out angle and magnitude. Now here what we have this GSH is equal to minus 1. So from that we can find out its rectangular form. From that we can find out magnitude and angle. Okay, or we can find out angle like this way. The GS angle of GSH is equal to angle of minus 1. Now minus 1, the angle is nothing but plus minus 180 degree 2k plus 1, where k goes from 1 to 3. That means what? If we have an real axis, okay, from real axis if you calculate the angle, what we can say, this is your 180 degree. Now we can go like this way. Okay, so this will be 3 into 180 degree. Okay, 1, 1, 2, then 3. So always it will be odd multiple of angle 180 degree into 2k plus 1. And magnitude, what you can find, GSH is equal to minus 1, the magnitude of GSH is equal to 1. Okay, so angle condition is angle of GSH is equal to always that should be 180 degree plus minus 180 degree 2k plus 1. You can go clockwise and anti-clockwise both way. So odd multiple of 180 degree plus minus 180 degree. Magnitude condition is magnitude of GSH should be equal to 1. So the values of S that fulfill both the angle and magnitude conditions are the roots of the characteristic equation. Okay, a locus of the points in the complex plane. Okay, suppose we have a root locus. Okay, we have a root locus like this. Okay, we have a two pole. Now a point, say this point will lie, okay, will should lie on the root locus if it satisfied angle condition. Okay, if we have another point here, okay, if it does not satisfy the angle condition, then it is not lying on the root locus. So the locus of the points in the complex plane satisfying the angle condition is the root locus. Okay, that is the point. So from the characteristic equation, we can find out K and G. Angle condition is 180 degree plus minus 180 degree 2k plus 1. K goes from 0 to 1, 2, 3. Okay. And magnitude condition is magnitude we can find out as 1 by K, or K we can find out as 1 by magnitude of GS. Okay. So for example, let us take one example. Say we have this transfer function. Okay. And this is your pole. We have 0 and minus 2. Say if you vary K, okay, if you take this one as 1 a k, so if you vary k, this pole is moving, this pole is moving, and this point it is going to complex plane. Okay, now say this is the point which lies on root locus, and this is another point, okay, which is outside the root locus. Okay, so root locus means how the roots is varying if we vary k from 0 to infinity. So these loops are going this way, then from here it breaks away and goes in this particular direction. It is not going in this direction. Okay, it is going in 90-degree direction. How we are getting 90-degree? Why, that I will discuss later in the next lecture, where I will discuss about the construction rule. Okay, construction rules of root locus. Okay, during that this point will be clear. But now say this is the point which is on root locus. Let us prove that. Say this point is say minus 1, say minus 1, that is the point here, plus j. Okay, this is the point 1j. Okay, so what we have to do, that s value we have to put into that equation. Okay, so s value we can put here plus 2, so plus 2 minus 1, 1. Now if we find out its magnitude, what will be the magnitude then? uh, Magnitude of 1 plus j is 0, it will be root of 1 square plus 0 square, 1. And magnitude of this, that will be root of minus 1 whole square plus 1 square, so root of 2. Here also root of 2, that will be 2, so it will be half. Okay, so actually this should be magnitude, that should be equal to half. Okay, now we have to find out angle. Okay, angle means if it is having numerator and denominator, we have to find out numerator angle, whatever the angle. Okay, and say denominator angle. Okay, then if you have to calculate, we have to take these two numerator and its sign should change. Okay, if you take from denominator to numerator, sign becomes negative. That is the point you have to remember. Now tan inverse of minus a plus j. Okay, here a plus j. Now we have to know a plus j b angle. You have to find out as tan inverse b by a. That is very simple thing. Okay, that already I did. Now if it is say minus a plus j, minus a plus j, what is the angle? Let us find out. Okay, now if I plot, okay, this is minus a plus j, so minus a is here, okay, plus j is here, so this is the point. Okay, and this is your magnitude. Okay, now angle means what? Angle means this is the angle now from this real axis. This is the angle of this minus a plus j. How you can find out? This total angle is 180 degree minus this angle phi. Okay, so 180 degree minus tan inverse b by a. If we perform that, then that will be the angle from the real axis. So minus a plus jb angle is minus 180 degree minus tan inverse b by a. Okay, so and here it should be, so denominator will be what? Minus 180 degree minus tan inverse b by a plus, it is multiplication, so angle should be plus tan inverse 1 by 1. Okay, now these two will be cancelled out. Here we have plus 180 degree, that we have to take, and 1 at angle 0, 1 plus j0, that will be tan inverse 0, that is 0 degree. So 0 degree minus 180, so it will be 0 degree minus 180 degree. This is odd multiple of 1. Okay, so what we can say, this is, this point lie on root locus because angle condition satisfies odd multiple of plus minus 180 degree. Okay, so k value will be what? Nothing but 1 by magnitude of ls or gs. Okay, now if we select the point minus 2j minus 2 plus j, this is the point here. Okay, now if you put this value into this transfer function, but you will get minus 2 plus j, and here it will be only j, plus minus 2 cancel. Now what will be the angle that you have to find out? Okay, now here you can see the angle should be 0 degree minus tan in minus a minus b. Okay, if it is minus a minus b, it should be 180 degree plus tan inverse b by a. How? Let me just show you. Okay, let me discard those part and let me show you that. That is, if it is minus a minus b, okay, this is the condition, minus a minus b. So minus a means here, minus b means also here. Okay, so this is the point now. So this is your magnitude angle starting from this real axis. Okay, 0 degree, this is the angle. So what is the angle now? We have this 180 degree plus this angle phi. This phi is nothing but tan inverse of b by a. So 180 degree plus tan inverse b by a. So here it will be 180 degree plus tan inverse b by a. Tan inverse b by a means 2 by 1. Tan inverse 2, we have some value plus 180 degree. So that will be not equal to odd multiple of 180 degree. So that point does not lie on your root locus. So this is how we can find out whether one point, particular point, is lying on root locus or not. Okay, for that let me solve another problem, that is, with check whether s equal to this term, okay, lies on root locus or not. If it does, so then find the gain k at that point. The open loop transfer function is given. Okay, whatever the transfer function given, what you have to do, you have to put that s value. Okay, the s value you have to put in that equation. Okay, so if you put that s value into the equation, so it will be j3. Okay, j root 3, then it will be 1 plus j root 3, then it will be 3 plus j root 3. Okay, after addition with 1 2 4, here angle is k. Now we have to find out angle condition. So whenever we have to find out a point lie on root locus or not, we have to satisfy angle condition. So here k 0, k plus j 0, so it will be tan inverse 0 by k, so tan inverse 0. Okay, then we have to take this term to numerator with a negative sign, tan inverse root 3 by 0, right? We don't have real part. Then this part we have to take to numerator, so with negative sign, so tan inverse root 3 by 1, tan inverse root 3 by 3. Now if you calculate, this is 0, this will be 90 60 30, so you will get minus 180 degree, which is odd multiple of 1 multiply with 1. So this satisfies angle condition, so we can say that point lies on the root locus. Okay, this is one of the most important concept. Now say we have to find out, if that is so, we have to find out the value of gain k at that point. s equal to minus 1 plus j root 3. For that, to find out value of k, we have to satisfy the magnitude condition. Magnitude condition means magnitude condition is what? Magnitude of GSH is equal to 1. So we have to find out magnitude. So we have to put s value here, okay, and we have to find out the magnitude, okay, that should be equal to 1. That we have to find. So this is the function, transfer function we know after putting s value. Now we have to find out magnitude. So k plus 0, so root of k square plus 0 square, that will be k, okay. Here it will be root of 0 square plus root 3 whole square, okay, so that will be root 3, okay, and here it will be root 3 whole square plus 1, so 4 root of that 2, and this is root of 12, that will be equal to 1. So from that we can find out what is the value of k, okay. So this is the most important concept in that root locus. Whether a point lies on root locus or not, we have to satisfy the angle condition. If we want to find out gain at that point, we have to find out using the magnitude condition. That's all. Now let us solve another problem. It is from a GATE examination 2007. It is given that unity feedback control system has an open loop transfer function. Okay, the gain k for which this point will lie on root locus of the system is. Okay, now this point we have to find out what is the gain k. So we have to use magnitude condition and we can check. But whether this point lie on the root locus or not, that we don't know. Okay, so we have to first find out that. Okay, so we have to check whether this point lie on root locus or not. So we have to verify angle condition. This is the angle condition. Okay, this is the transfer function. S value is given. We have to put those s value in that particular equation, okay, and you can calculate. So that will be, this will be the your transfer function after putting the s value. Now you have to find out angle, okay. So k at angle k plus j0, that is angle is 0. Now minus a plus jb, okay, that should be 180 degree minus tan inverse b by a plus b, so plus tan inverse b by a, okay. This will be tan inverse 1, tan inverse 1, that will be cancelled out, so it will be minus 180 degree, so it is into 1, so you can find out this is odd multiple of minus plus minus 180 degree. So that point s lie on the root locus. Now you have to find out value of k. We know what is the transfer function is putting the s value. So this is the, now we have to find out magnitude of this, okay. So we have to find out magnitude of this, we have to make it equal to 1. So magnitude of GSH is equal to 1. So we have to find out magnitude. So root of 2, root of 50, so k equal to root of 10, that is 10, okay. So that value of k at that particular point is 10, okay. This is the problem. Now let us solve another problem, okay. So open loop transfer function of a plant of unity feedback configuration given, okay. Find the gain for which this s equal to minus 1 plus j2 lies on the root locus of the system is. We have to find out value of k. So whether, let us check first whether this point lies on root locus or not. So you have to verify angle condition, okay. So this is the equation, okay. Transfer function, put s value, okay, put s value, okay, then you have to calculate that, you get this transfer function, okay. Now we have to find out angle. What we can get, k plus j0 tan inverse 0 plus, this is angle of this is tan inverse 2 by 3, okay. Now this one is tan inverse 2 by 7 and minus a minus jb, that is 180 degree plus tan inverse b by a, okay. Now we can calculate, we can find this is also minus 180 degree, which is multiple of 1. So angle condition satisfies, so we can say this point lie on root locus. Now we know this magnitude gs equal to, we know, we can find out magnitude and make equal to 1, okay. So magnitude of gs should be equal to 1. So magnitude we have to find out, okay. K plus j0 magnitude is k. This is 3 square plus 2 square root of that, 7 square plus 2 square root of that, then 12 square plus 4 square root of that. So we can find out value of k. So that will be the value of k. at s equal to that point which lies on root locus. So this is another problem. Okay, now we can again let us solve another problem. Okay, and which is consider the points. Here we have provided 2 points s1 and s2. Okay, then for a system with a open loop transfer function given, find out s1 s2 lie on root locus or not. What is the condition that you have to find out? That means s1 s2 lie on root locus or not. That means we have to verify the angle condition. Okay, then we can get the result. So now what we have to put? We have to put s value in, this is a s1, so s1 we have to put in this equation transfer function, so we get this factor. Now here what will happen, this is whole to the power 4, and for 1, if it is 1 it will be tan inverse 180 degree minus tan inverse 4 by 2, this is minus a plus b. Okay, this is the factor for 1 when pole is whole to the power 1, but we have 4 poles, so angle will be what, multiply by 4. Okay, that is the point. So this value comes as minus 466, and this is not odd, this is not satisfied the condition. Why? Because this is not plus minus 180 degree into 2k plus 1, okay, or 2q plus 1. That means it is not equal to odd multiple of 180 degree. This is not the case. Okay, so this s1 point do not lie on that root locus. Okay. Now let us check what will happen if we use this s2. Now s2 is this point minus 2 minus 3 minus j2. So that s2 value we have to put it in this transfer function. Okay, then we got this value. Okay, now if you find out 4 into, this is minus a minus jb. Okay, minus a minus jb, so it will be 180 degree. Now you can see from here minus a minus jb, so this is the point here. Okay, then what is the angle from this real axis point? This is the angle, so 180 degree plus this tan inverse b by a. Okay, 2 by 2. So if you see, this is minus 90 degree, which is nothing but minus here odd multiple of minus 180 degree. What is the odd number? That is 5. So this satisfies the angle condition. So what we can say, S2 lies on the root locus. So this is the problem that I have taken from the 1999 gate problem. Okay. So what is the option they may give you, that S1, S2 both lie on root locus. S1 lie but not S2. S1 do not lie on the root locus but S2. So that should be the answer. S1 do not lie on the root locus. S2 lies on the root locus. So this is the appropriate answer. So in this particular lecture video, I explained about the root locus, why we have to use a root locus, that is to find out the system response, how the response should be. Okay, if we vary the k value, then the value of pole or the root changes. Okay, then how the your output response changes from over damped to critical damped to under damped. Then stability also can from unstable to marginally stable to unstable, how they are varying as we vary k value from 0 to infinity due to variation of the pole location. Okay, we can analyze very easily using the root locus concept. And to verify whether a point lie on the root locus or not, we have to verify the angle condition, and we can find the gain k value of that point using the magnitude condition. Okay, so this is all about the basic of root locus. Okay. Mm, in next lecture I will explain you the construction rule of root locus. Okay, so see you in the next lecture video. Thank you so much.